star quarterback Zach Wilson's arthroscopic knee surgery that took place on Tuesday was deemed a success, with no surprises from the original diagnosis. Sources from ESPN confirmed the news. Wilson was diagnosed with a meniscus tear and a bone bruise after a non-contact injury last Friday night in a game against the Philadelphia Eagles. In today's video, let's discuss the player's current condition. First, Zach Wilson's right knee surgery was a success. Sources initially said that the New York Jets quarterback's recovery would be 2 to 4 weeks. While there was no updated timetable, the Jets managed to avoid the nightmare scenario, a season-ending injury to their second-year quarterback. But one source said that the meniscus required only a trim, just as the Jets had expected. They were optimistic about the damage's extent, but they refrained from any definitive statements until the arthroscopy, which was performed in LA by Dr. Neal ElAttrache. It looks like the Jets don't want to rush Wilson back on the field, with sources emphasizing they won't make him play until he's 100% recovered. The fact that he injured the same knee last season, suffering from a sprained PCL that cost him 4 games, is a factor. He'll probably take at least 2 weeks of practice before he's cleared to play. So for now, it definitely seems like the calendar is working against him with regard to opening day. Wilson, who was drafted 2nd overall in 2021, went down on the second series of the preseason opener. Scrambling out of the pocket, he tried to gain extra yards instead of running out of bounds. When he cut to the inside, his knee buckled and he took a leap to the grass. He was then made to leave the game immediately. The very next day, an MRI revealed meniscus tear and a bone bruise. Wilson opted for a second opinion and traveled to Los Angeles, California. Secondly, how will the Jets manage without Wilson? The Jets had geared pretty much their entire offseason around Wilson, adding many players around him, so a season-ending injury is quite a devastating blow. Despite this, coach Robert Saleh called it a setback that he's missing an unbelievable opportunity to get his reps in and to play other defenses. It looks like Wilson will most probably miss preseason games against the New York Giants and Atlanta Falcons. The Jets are all set to start Joe Flacco in the season opener against the Baltimore Ravens, the team he led to the Super Bowl title after the 2012 season. They have also joint practices against these teams, which Saleh believes are quite invaluable. 37-year-old Flacco has looked sharp in practice the last 3 days, but he hasn't had much success recently as a starter. He hasn't won a start since 2019, which he did with the help of the Denver Broncos, and has lost 14 of his last 16, dating back to 2018, his final season with the Ravens. Saleh said he's confident in Mike White and Flacco, who moves up to second string. Saleh said that it was comforting to know that they've got 3 starting quarterbacks, and he shouted out Mike White too. And the coach believes in Flacco and thinks that Joe has proven throughout his time that he's a winner, despite his record here not being that great. In his opinion, he's 0-5 and proved very efficient. The team has all the confidence in the world in him to get the job done. In other injury news, the Jets placed right tackle Mekhi Becton, who's suffering from a fractured kneecap, on injured reserve, ending his season. To replace him, they've moved George Fant to right tackle and signed left tackle Dwayne Brown. Let's see how that turns out. Next, what Robert Saleh has to say about Zach Wilson's knee. The New York Jets were pretty guarded on a timetable for their injured quarterback Zach Wilson, saying that it depends on the outcome of the arthroscopic knee surgery on Tuesday in Los Angeles. On Sunday before the procedure, coach Robert Saleh said that while they were optimistic, he's not out of the woods until they get in there and make the decision on how to handle the meniscus. Wilson was injured in Friday night's preseason game against the Philadelphia Eagles and is expected to miss 2 to 4 weeks with a torn meniscus and bone bruise in his right knee. The team is quite hopeful that it won't be longer than 4 weeks, but it won't give an absolute until the scope. Knee expert Neal ElAttrache, the team physician for the Los Angeles Dodgers and Los Angeles Rams, performed it. He also had a consultation with the right tackle Mekhi Becton, who's expected to miss the entire season. While the Jets were relieved to hear that Wilson's injury wasn't season-ending, they acknowledged that it could hamper his development early in the season. He is set to miss the final 2 preseason games, plus joint practices against the Giants and Falcons. Saleh said that it's a setback and that he's missing an unbelievable opportunity to get the reps in and to play other defenses, especially the Giants, who have such an extensive presser package system. He just needs to get dialed in, just like he did last year when he was hurt. While the timing of it all is quite terrible and it sucks, the coach thinks that Zach still has an opportunity to grow if he takes it mentally well. Wilson, who was drafted 2nd overall in 2021, missed 4 games as a rookie after spraining the PCL in his right knee, the same knee he hurt this time against the Eagles on a non-contact play in which he scrambled instead of running out of bounds. Backup player Joe Flacco, who took the first team reps in practice, said that Wilson was a little down after the game, adding that his mood has brightened up by Sunday. The quarterback, whether it's Flacco or Wilson, will be behind a new-look offensive line. The team responded to Becton's injury by signing former Pro Bowl tackle Dwayne Brown to a 2-year, $22 million contract. There were some questions as to where he'd line up, but he will remain a left tackle, Saleh confirmed on Sunday. Brown, who agreed to terms on Thursday, signed his contract on Monday. He should start practice in the upcoming week. And now for some other related news. Firstly, NFL preseason 2022 Week 2 takeaways and schedule. The Chicago Bears and Seattle Seahawks kicked off Week 2 of the preseason on Thursday in Seattle. Second-year quarterback Justin Fields looked sharp for the Bears in his lone drive to start the game, while Seahawks starter Geno Smith and the offensive unit struggled a bit to pick up first downs in their first couple of drives. On Friday, the New Orleans Saints were topped by the Green Bay Packers, behind a roller coaster night from rookie wide receiver Romeo Doubs. And he had a touchdown catch, but also made a couple of drops. Saturday brought an 8-game slate that featured Pittsburgh Steelers rookie QB Kenny Pickett's impressive performance against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Also, the Miami Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa got his first live game action against the Las Vegas Raiders. Sunday featured the New York Giants coming from behind to top the Cincinnati Bengals. And meanwhile, the Baltimore Ravens won their 22nd straight preseason contest with a win over the Arizona Cardinals. The Atlanta Falcons wrapped up the second week on Monday night with quarterbacks Desmond Ridder and Marcus Mariota passing for a combined 275 yards in the first half. Still, the New York Jets came back to win the game. Next, the New York Jets dominated joint practices with the Atlanta Falcons. The New York Jets had held joint practices with the Atlanta Falcons this week ahead of their scheduled preseason meeting on Monday. One thing was absolutely clear at the end of the week: the Jets are the better team over the past few days, and it wasn't even close. The New York Jets managed to get the better of the Falcons on both sides of the ball throughout the week. Now, whether it was the Marcus Mariota-led Falcons offense sputtering or Joe Flacco lighting up the Falcons defense, the Jets were clearly the dominant team. While the Falcons aren't exactly Super Bowl favorites themselves, it's been a long time since we've seen a Jets team dominate joint practices the way they did this week. Now, that's a major step in the right direction for the team, I'm sure. And finally, the Jets are right to rest their starters in the upcoming game. The Jets have already felt the wrath of the summer injury virus over the last few years. They've been snake-bitten by preseason injury, be it Carl Lawson's Achilles tear last season or injuries to Zach Wilson and Mekhi Becton within the last month. The risk associated with playing starters for what would have been a 2 to 3 series in their scheme just wouldn't be worth it. And that's seemingly the conclusion the Jets came to as well, and we're happy they did. Instead, the remainder of the preseason should be utilized to give the younger players on the roster valuable reps, especially those who are fighting for their roster spots. And that's a wrap for this video. What do you think about the New York Jets quarterback Zach Wilson's right knee injury and recovery period? How do you think the Jets will manage without Wilson? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.